I wanted to upload this video earlier within the week, but there was a couple things that distracted me, and I did get a little bit lazy, admittedly. And so for those subscribers who have been patiently waiting for another video to come out, I just want to apologize
to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
With that out of the way, I am going to be sharing with you guys different social accounts that you should follow if you want to stay up to date with any type of news and information pertaining to Call of Duty. Obviously, I'm going to be talking about accounts that are not the main Call of Duty accounts. You're probably already following them on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or YouTube, whatever the case may be. And of course, it's always great to follow them. They always notify people when a new season goes out, when double XP events go live, when a new Call of Duty game releases, right? I mean, and of course showcasing trailers and stuff like that. So obviously at this point pretty much everybody's following the Call of Duty news accounts, but there is other type of accounts that do pertain to Call of Duty news, and of course these are more on the consumer side of things, so they see it from kind of like more of our perspective in a way, which is really cool to see. And there's a lot of different accounts to follow. Now you're probably wondering, okay, what social accounts are we talking about here? I'm only going to be talking about Twitter and YouTube channels in this video. I don't really see a point in anybody using Facebook. I mean, to be honest, the people who do keep up to date with Call of Duty news and updates and literally every leaked information you can think of, they're pretty much always on Twitter. They're like all on Twitter, and so you could probably find them on Reddit as well, and sometimes leaked information does first appear on Reddit, but Twitter is really the best way to go when it comes to staying up to date on all this stuff, and that's what I've been doing for years, and these accounts I've also been following for years as well. Not 4 years, but for many years. And so I am going to go ahead and just start off with the Twitter accounts, and then near the end of the video, I'll talk about some of the YouTube channels that I subscribe to, and I watch their videos essentially almost every day because they usually upload every single day. So let's go ahead and start with the first account here, which is CharlieIntel. By far, this is the #1 Twitter account that you should follow if you ever want to stay up to date on any type of news and updates for Call of Duty. And CharlieIntel is really good about showing their sources and where they get leaked information from. And a lot of the leaked information that comes from CharlieIntel, of course, they share their short sources, and usually their sources are pretty accurate. They'll sometimes put out some statements out there about some leaked information pertaining to the next Call of Duty game, but they always tell people to take it with a grain of salt, which you hear a lot of other people say as well. And that's because it might be coming from a non-legitimate source, but of course sometimes leaked information that does come from legitimate sources doesn't end up being true, and it's usually because on the dev side of things maybe things got scrapped, whatever the case may be. Regardless, CharlieIntel, by far, they are so good at staying up to date on leaked information. As soon as new information comes out, they are on it instantly. There is nobody quicker than CharlieIntel out there. However, there is another Twitter account that is pretty close to CharlieIntel, but I mean, nothing against this Twitter account or anything, obviously not, because I'm shouting them out here, but ModernWarzone. If you're a Warzone player, that is your main game, you don't really give a rat's ass about multiplayer, you just want to play Warzone, ModernWarzone is probably the best account to follow, because they're also just like they're pretty much almost identical to CharlieIntel, and you'll see these Twitter accounts, these people interact with each other, and pretty much everyone I'm mentioning here interacts with each other on Twitter one way or another, and you'll definitely see that throughout time. But ModernWarzone, he is definitely more on the Warzone side of things. He is pretty much almost identical to CharlieIntel when it comes to tweeting out information about Call of Duty as soon as it becomes available to him. It's insanely, he's really fast at what he does. He's also a content creator as well. He pretty much started off, from what I believe anyway, to leak actual information. He was actually a leaker himself because he had inside sources, and so he kind of used that to his advantage and kind of became a creator, which is pretty cool to see actually, because a lot of these leakers out here don't really go into content creation at all. So it's really unique to see someone such as ModernWarzone to do something like that. And so if you're a huge Warzone guy, definitely give this guy a follow. He definitely posts quite a bit. He posts a lot of clips of himself out there. You know, he is a creator himself, so of course he's going to be showing clips he might get on Twitch, for example. But let's go on to the next account here, which is going to be TheGhostOfHope. TheGhostOfHope has given a lot of information for Modern Warfare 2. He also gave a lot of information pertaining to Vanguard before it launched, and a lot of his leaks that he provided are pretty accurate. It's really rare to see the Ghost of Hope ever give out leaked information that was like not true at all. And sometimes it happens, but it's pretty dang rare. And the one thing I like to mention about CharlieIntel and Modern Warzone, even though they're sharing news and leaks and stuff like that, they usually don't get a whole lot of inside information. They usually get their sources from external areas that other people who've already posted it somewhere else, and they're usually just able to share it. Whereas the Ghost of Hope is a leaker himself. The Ghost of Hope actually he's like one of the main sources that people get some of their leaks from. So he's been pretty accurate, and he's really good about going back to a tweet he tweeted like months ago and quote tweeting it and saying like, yep, this is true today. Like, he called it out. He's like, I told you this is it. This is going to be in the game. And so the Ghost of Hope is really trying to show off that he's definitely someone that knows what he's talking about, and that you can totally trust him when it comes to leaked information, and you've got to appreciate him for doing that. And then another person who kind of has a similar name, but not quite, this guy is the MW2 Ghost. And of course, he has the spinning skull emblem from the OG Modern Warfare 2, and you see him post a lot of nostalgic stuff. He's a huge calling card guy in the Call of Duty series, and you don't see too many people like joke around saying they're obsessed with calling cards, but I got to appreciate that about MW2 Ghost. And he does leak stuff once in a while. I don't think he's leaked as much stuff as the Ghost of Hope, but the MW2 Ghost is someone where if he's not the first person to leak it, he will back up and be like, yes, my sources said the same thing. They said this is true as well, or something like that. Or maybe they'll say they heard something different from their sources. And so that's why it's really important to kind of follow all these guys and see them interact with each other, so that way you kind of get a bigger picture of what's going on kind of behind the scenes when it comes to like leaked information for Call of Duty content. And then of course another account is RalphsValve. I haven't really seen him tweet too much. Maybe his tweets are for whatever reason not popping up on my feed that much, but regardless, the RalphsValve, he's also been really good at credible leaks. Like pretty much, I don't know if there was anything he's leaked where it wasn't true. I'm honestly not entirely sure, but I know like he's posted some really good leaks out there. And the RalphsValve though, although he does post stuff on Twitter, he does provide links to these blogs that he makes, so that way he can provide a lot more information about leaked information that he's heard, or whatever the case may be about whatever he's talking about in his blog. So it's really nice going up into that blog, and his blogs usually really aren't that long, and you do get a better idea of what's going on by reading his blog rather than just reading short tweets all the time for leaked information. But RalphsValve, definitely check out his blogs, follow him on Twitter. He is really good at being up to date on information that he wants to cover. And another one is Reality UK. He hasn't really tweeted out that much either. He's an account that you'll see post once in a while, and usually like the RalphsValve and Reality UK, they're the type of accounts where when they do tweet, it's about leaked information, and that's not really like all the time. So usually if it's like if it's a couple months before the next Call of Duty title, that's when they'll usually start tweeting out a lot more and giving us a lot more leaked information. But Reality UK is another person that you guys can follow and help you have another source to confirm about leaked information whenever it does become available to us. And that's going to wrap up all the different Twitter accounts I want you guys to follow, so that way you stay up to date on any type of leaked information pertaining to Call of Duty. And to quickly summarize them all again really quickly, we got CharlieIntel, Modern Warzone, The Ghost of Hope, the MW2 Ghost, RalphsValve, and Reality UK. Now it's time for me to talk about the different YouTube channels that I personally subscribe to, so I can stay up to date with Call of Duty, and I feel like you guys will benefit from watching them as well. There's a good chance you may already be subscribed to these channels. They are fairly popular in the Call of Duty scene, but they don't have like millions of subscribers either. They're not like insanely like famous, huge content creators. They're not like Tim the Tatman or Ninja, for example, or like Dr. Disrespect. They're not like that high of a status, but they are fairly popular, and they're very well respected people within the Call of Duty community, and I've been watching their channels for years, and I mean years. And so let's go ahead and start with PrestigeIsKey. I love this dude. I mean, if I could like spend a day with like any content creator, it'd probably be this guy. I mean, seriously, I could just totally nerd out with him when it comes to Call of Duty. I mean, I love the different types of videos this guy makes. He really grabs my attention in certain videos where he points me in a direction that I never thought about looking. And he has very well respected opinions too. Honestly, I respect a lot of his opinions. I don't always agree with him on things, but I can totally understand his point of view. And I definitely do agree with him a lot on this. And so there might be a little bit of bias, like when it comes to these like recommendations for YouTube channels, just because I do agree with a lot of what they say, but they're factual statements to us, and that's why we have to share them with everybody. And so PrestigeIsKey, awesome dude, totally check him out and subscribe to his channel. He makes really good videos. And then there's NerosCinema. NerosCinema's a little bit different. So NerosCinema is kind of like PrestigeIsKey, where they're always pretty much keeping up to date on Call of Duty news and information and updates and like content coming with like new season or information pertaining to the next Call of Duty, you name it. They're pretty much always on top of that type of stuff. The difference between PrestigeIsKey and NerosCinema, though, is that NerosCinema refuses to have any sort of relationship with Activision, and that is huge because a lot of these content creators like PrestigeIsKey, they have the privilege to really go to early access events and play like the new Call of Duty game early before anybody else can, and they're able to get footage of it for their channel, which makes them like look a lot better too, of course, right? Where NerosCinema doesn't do that. I'd say from what he's said, it sounds like Activision has reached out to him and he just refuses to like accept any of their offers. And the reason for this being is he doesn't want to be restricted to like NDAs, or like he wants to pretty much be as honest as possible when it comes to making his YouTube videos, and he doesn't want people to think that he's holding back because he's like has this contract with Activision or something like that, and which is honestly good. I respect that a lot, and we definitely need someone like that in the Call of Duty scene. And NerosCinema is really good about pointing things that are bad within the series. He does that a lot, and sometimes it might sound like you're just beating a dead horse for like the longest time, but you know what, it definitely has to be said. Like a lot of the things he does mention definitely does have to be said, and I appreciate we have someone in the community to do that. The next person is TheXclusiveAce. He is also one of those people who like makes videos on content updates, what's going to be added within like next season and stuff like that. He's good about that as well, just like PrestigeIsKey and NerosCinema. However, the biggest thing about TheXclusiveAce is his weapon guides and like the different types of statistics he goes over on each individual weapon, perk, attachment, lethal, tactical equipment, sprint speed, sprint out times. I mean, I'm talking about like any type of detailed stat you can think of in Call of Duty. This is your man, and he does all the testing for it, and he shows us his stats and what he's able to test out, and he's able to really show us certain flaws in the game, like especially with certain attachments. Like it'll tell you like this gun does this damage range, but it really doesn't. It only does this amount of damage range, and it's because there is a lot of inconsistency within Call of Duty, believe it or not, and TheXclusiveAce is good for showing what is accurate and what isn't accurate. So definitely give TheXclusiveAce a follow. It will definitely change your perspective on Call of Duty once you see the different types of statistics for each weapon and understanding how they perform compared to other guns, compared to like what you just read within the menus in the game itself. So TheXclusiveAce is definitely one of a kind, and you should totally be subscribed to his channel. The last YouTube channel you should follow is the Spartacus 200. This guy has been uploading videos for over 9 years. He's been in the Call of Duty scene for a very long time. He definitely knows what he's talking about when he uploads a commentary about Call of Duty and his opinions on the game. And this guy, even though he doesn't have that many subscribers, he's definitely a total amateur at playing Call of Duty, and he's quite an amateur at making YouTube videos as well. He's definitely passionate about what he does, and he just wants to make the Call of Duty community a better place, and he has been trying to do that for over 9 years on this YouTube channel, and hopefully one day he can make a huge difference within this community. So make sure you guys go ahead and follow him over on YouTube and subscribe to his channel, and of course follow him on Twitter as well, because there is a Twitter account that he uses and tries to pretty much tweet consistently when it comes to Call Call of Duty stuff, so make sure you guys follow him over there. And of course, you can follow all the other Twitter accounts as well. There will of course be a link in the description below for all of them, as well for the YouTube channels that I mentioned. So make sure you guys go ahead, check them all out, see what you think of them, and make sure you give them a follow or subscribe. And that will conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I shall catch you guys later.